Should I go ahead? Hello. Can you hear me?
Very well.
I would try to speak as slowly as possible. So every one of us can understand clearly what I am talking about.
Is your screen blank like it is there? Is your screen blank?
No, I didn't. Okay.
Don't see it there. Good.
Namaste. Do you know what is the meaning of namaste? This is a Nepali greeting which says, I see the divine in you. My name is Binisha Shrestha, and I am from Nepal. How many of you know what I am wearing today? So this is a Sherpa attire, and I come from the mountains, and I really wanted to represent today where I come from. So that's why I wore the traditional dress from my country. So I am going to present you about, I'm sorry, I'm not used to it. Can you hear me now? So I am going to present you about the hearing loss convention I attended for the first time today. So let me tell you a little bit more about my background. As I already told you, I come from Nepal, and currently I'm living in Aurora, Colorado for the past on and off 14 years now. And I have a nonprofit called Colorado Nepalese Community, which is based in Aurora, Colorado, which works for Nepali community with access to healthcare, access to art, education, culture, basically with the theme of sense of belonging in the community. And as for my hearing loss journey, I wasn't born deaf. I was completely hearing. But for the past 15 years, my hearing deteriorated, and then I had to wear the hearing aid, without which I cannot hear. And my hearing loss history comes from my family. My father is also deaf. I am deaf without the hearing aid. My sister is also deaf. So literally, my 3 out of 4 members, 3 members are deaf. And currently I am wearing Starkey Libio 1000, Starkey hearing aid, which is going to be the last hearing aid I'm wearing, because I have sensory neural hearing loss, and this is no more working for me as it should be, because currently I cannot hear from people. I cannot understand when I'm far away. I have to heavily rely on captions. And I already did the MRI, and I am eligible for the cochlear implants. Now, so I'm waiting for my doctor to set up the date to have the cochlear implant surgery in my left ear. But still, both of my hearing level is the same. So that makes me eligible for cochlear implant in both of my ears. So let's see how it goes. I already told, I'm not that technical person to explain everything about the outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear in detail, but what I know is I have sensory neural hearing loss. And as far as I know, there is no cure. I heard that there are clinical trials going on, but as for now, the option is the hearing aids, which I am wearing now in my both ears. So yes, there was the hearing loss convention in June in Arizona. And since I had hearing loss, it's been a long time that I haven't traveled anywhere alone by myself, because I had this kind of stigma and in between in these 15 years, I delayed wearing hearing aid for a long time, because even though I knew I had to wear it, I felt really awkward to wear hearing aid. And I was in a denial for a long time. I was telling myself, how can this happen to me? I will try to overcome this in some way, but I couldn't. I had to wear hearing aid. And when Marilyn told me that there is a convention going on, I wanted to jump in to the opportunity, but I was scared as well to go all by myself to Arizona to attend the convention. And finally, I decided to go, and I traveled all the way to Arizona, but my flight delayed by 2 hours. I wasn't able to reach on time. But due to the technology we have these days, it's easier to get the ride to apps. And then I reached Arizona, and I was thankful that the hotel and the place where the convention was going on, it was nearby from the airport. It was just 25 minutes away from the airport. And this was the grand, beautiful hotel, Sheraton Grand at Windhorse Pass. And as soon as I came out of the airport, it was 115 degrees outside. It was so hot. Like I am used to the colder climates, but not the hot ones. It was so hot. But then I reached the hotel with the help of rideshare Uber, and the check-in was very easy. There was this big convention going on, and the receptionist readily guessed that I came there for the convention. And she asked me if I was there for convention. I said yes. And she escorted me all the way to the reception. The check-in was very easy. It was made easy. And then she also showed me where the convention was going on. And so that way, whole procedure was very easy. It was very convenient. And the day I reached the convention, it was already first day, but I just missed the registration part, the networking part, because of my flight delay. And I joined HLAA Board of Directors session right on the first day in the evening. And oh my God, I was so surprised to see a huge number of people, everyone like me, attending the convention. That was the first time I saw that many people who were, almost everyone was wearing hearing aids. Some were signing, some were bilingual, some could talk, but everyone was like me. I was happy to be in that crowd. And on the very first day, we get to know all the board members, all the senior members of the association. We get to introduce each other. And I was also able to introduce myself to all of the audiences. And then I explained them where I come from, and also told them why did I came there and what was my mission to be there for the first time in that crowd. So it was really good, an awakening. So yes, and then, so this is, I love to take pictures, but at the same time, I am shy to ask to people take the pictures for me. But somehow there were so many people. We had Team Denver, but not all of them are here. Jennifer was there, Diana was there, Terry was there. I think 6, 7 members of the Denver team were there in the convention. And I'm a great fan of Shari Edwards. Uh, I have been subscribing her newsletter for a long time. So I instantly know she was there in the crowd. And like a fangirl, I went there. I went her to ask the pictures. So here she is, and my slide, and she's Barbara Kelly, of executive director of Hearing Loss Association in America. And almost everyone was wearing hearing aids and some sort of aid, whether be it the cochlear implants, whether be it the hearing aids. And then, since I am also the candidate of hearing cochlear implant, I really like the jewelry she was wearing. And there's so many people wearing that. So I clicked the picture, okay, I'm going to do this after I get my implants. So that was it. And then the biggest part, the biggest lesson I learned for those entire 3 days was you are more than your disability. Go toward things that define you. It was more than like, for so many years, I was in this stigma. I didn't tell anyone that I am hard of hearing. Even though I was wearing hearing aids, I used to cover that with my hairs, and then never told anyone about the invisible disability I had. But then slowly there was a time I had to tell, I had to express at some point that I am deaf without the hearing aids. I cannot hear. So I had to seek for help. And not everyone was that cooperative. Not everyone understood what I was trying to mean, what I was trying to tell. But then at the end of the day, how people treat each other counts then how advanced, no matter how advanced hearing aid you are wearing. It's the compassion you have with people. It's the empathy you have with people. It counts. So that was my biggest takeaway from the convention I attended. So second day was we had this booklet. I got this here as well. This booklet, the booklet is full of programs. There's so many programs. And then as I went through all the title, each and every title was so interesting. You literally want to attend each and every session, but you couldn't. So I attended a few of them, which I have put it here. The interesting ones, of course. And there was this newcomers orientation where all of us were introduced, all of us were told what to do, where to go, what kind of apps we had to use, what kind of accessibility we had. So we were explained everything of that. And the big session was on embracing OurCast, a catalyst for expanding hearing accessibility. Before that, I have never heard about OurCast before. It was right there at the convention I came to know there is this Bluetooth technology. It is called OurCast, which we have never heard of before. And there was this huge number of people attending OurCast. We were literally amazed to see that many people attending that. And then for the first time for me, I didn't have to ask for what was being told. Everything was captioned, everything was looped. So it was so easy to understand what the speaker was telling. And that made the whole story more interesting, that you were able to understand what everyone was telling as well. And then there was an event called Why is it so hard to treat sensorineural hearing loss? Because I was going through sensorineural hearing loss. I really wanted to know more. And I came to know that there is this clinical trial going on and which has not been passed up till now, but very soon they will let us know what the update, what's happening with sensorineural hearing loss. And wireless inclusion for all, advocacy to meet the challenge of air travel. Before this convention, I didn't know that we can pre-board in air travel. And then after this, I came to know we can pre-board, we can ask for pre-boarding. And when I came back from Arizona, I asked the airlines to give me their pre-boarding. So I was able to pre-board after that. So that was the biggest achievement of this convention as well. And this was more awakening that there is so many things we are not aware of, we do not know of. And then many people maybe they don't like to talk about what is going on, or somehow there is no conversation in between that we need to update with each other. And then there was an event called Why Best Practices Matter More Than Best Hearing Aid. Like I already told you, it's no matter how advanced hearing aid you use, at the end of the day, it's how the people treat you, how you treat people, how you speak with people, even the tone of the voice, even the simple conversation that matters more than the advanced hearing aids, the advanced gears you're using. That was that. And then we had a model for provision of no-cost hearing health care to adults with limited incomes. It was more awakening for me as well, because as a student, when I came to know about my hearing loss, hearing aids are so expensive. I couldn't afford it. And in this 15 years of time, I have wore so many brand of hearing aids. I am aware with almost all the brands now, because I was literally feeling maybe the brand I am using, maybe the other one can make me hear better. So I got moved to other one. And then I felt, and then the audiologists also, what they do is they would always tell you, okay, there is this new hearing aid, there's new thing. If you try this, it will be more better for you. So I moved to other. So I have changed so many hearing aids in between. And believe me, it was the same, actually. Just the part is, the hearing aids I am using have the Bluetooth connection, which is easy to hear, easy to understand. And then these days we have so many apps in the phone. It's easier for us, people like us, to see the captions in between. And in my student days, I didn't know that there's an organization called DVR, where they help you to get hearing aids, where they help you where they give you a financial assistance to buy the hearing aid. I didn't know that. And after a couple of years, I had more hearing aid loan than the student loan itself. Because of the change, because I was changing hearing aid almost 2-3 years in that hope that I would be able to hear more with the advanced technology. So that was very good lesson that in the session, they explained so many new things, what kind of help you can get during that presentation. And I think whoever attended the convention, he or she would know about the keynote address of Shana Adamic. It was so good. It was, I literally want to read a little bit about her. There was a keynote address of Shana Adamic. It was very inspiring. It was very, very, I was literally crying listening to her presentation. It was so relatable to us. It was so heart touching. As a child, Shauna displayed the seeds for her optimistic mindset. At age 9, after the loss of her father, she found hope seeing a bright star that guided her path forward. Shana went on to achieve unlikely dreams, from becoming an NFL cheerleader to now leading healthcare initiatives impacting worldwide. She credits her an optimism for persevering through challenges to reach her goals. So, in spite of facing so much adversity she had gone through, she was so optimistic to people there. She was so encouraging to the audience there. People were literally awestruck listening to her. So that was a very good keynote address from her. It was on second day. And the highlight of the second day was Welcome Back Bash. It was so much fun. Imagine 1,000 people and in one place sitting for the first time. I sat with that many people on the round table and felt so comfortable myself that I was able to hear what others were saying. I was able to speak what I was thinking. And the people, all of them were people like me, was a great high factor. And there were people who could sign, who were bilingual, and who could tell you, I mean, who I could comfortably understand what they were telling. And if I don't understand as well, I didn't need to say that again. They would readily understand that they need to be repeated. And it was so easy to understand. That was it. And then I met few people. I have been following few Instagram celebrities who are so much advocating with the hearing loss. One of her is Dr. Michelle, who I have been following her for a long time in Instagram. And when I saw her, I instantly went her, take the picture with her, and also attended her presentation. She is the pediatric audiologist and very popular in Instagram. She literally stories up every journey of her, every cases of her, to make people aware what all the hearing loss is about, what what all the hearing aids are about, what all the cochlear implant is about. So that, and then it's her presentation time. It was more about forecast and so she's Shanna Adamic. And the third day, Friday, was more about the research symposium. It was on, the highlighting part was on emotional side of hearing loss. Each and every presenter were I mean, it was enlightening for us to know so many aspects of hearing loss. There was a presenter called Gail Hannon. She was awesome. I mean, the way she presented the aspect of hearing loss was so great. I mean, you were literally excited to see every aspect of her presentation or every aspect of her performance during the emotional side of hearing loss. And yes, I already mentioned that there were many Instagram, many social media influencers in the convention. And there was also the program called Finding Your Hearing Loss Community on Instagram. There is a huge community on Instagram where each and every influencers post something daily, on the daily basis, to give the access to the people like us. So we were able to know more about that. And growing up with hearing loss and raising kids with hearing loss, it's the same story like me. So I really wanted to know, I have small children. I'm a mom of two. One is 13 years old, one is 7 years old. So I check their hearing. I check their hearings. I do the hearing screening almost every year. just maybe hoping, or just maybe everything is okay. So it was a learning experience for me as well as a deaf parent to know about their hearing condition as well. So it was a good learning experience. And then there was interacting with Google Maps, a two-way street. It was more about learning how Google Map works, how you have to get aware with the technology in the phone. So that was that. And then hearing aid technology 2024 and beyond. It was more about the update, more about the new technology which is coming and which is to become as well. And parents of children with hearing loss panel discussion. I was there. I also met many other influencers and many other parents who, some parents who are hard of hearing, but their kids are hearing, and some parents who are hearing, but their children are hard of hearing or wearing hearing aids. So it was more about them and their stories, and raising awareness of cochlear implants worldwide and ensuring lifelong support for cochlear implant users. Since I was one of the candidates, I really wanted to know more about the cochlear implant, the adversities, the advantage, disadvantage. So I also attended this session as well. And it was during the Welcome Back Bash. And the people, there were, in each and every session, there were almost 600, 700 people in the room. And people like you were hearing the same stories. This was about Gail Hannon's emotion side of hearing loss. And yes, it was the last day of convention. The last day of convention was more about the exhibition, more about the exhibitors displaying the new technologies, the exhibitors telling what's the update. And the glasses I'm wearing is not the ordinary glass. It's the glass from InnoCaption. I don't know if it's in the market or not. You could literally see the caption in the glass. When I wore this glass, someone was talking in front of me, but the text appeared right in the glasses. So so it was interesting to wear the glass for the first time. And they also told me that it is not in the market yet. They are still in the test phase. They're trying out. It's from InnoCaption glasses. So this part has the small microphone in the glasses. And when the person is speaking, you can see the text in the eyes and that glass. So the last day was more with interacting with the exhibitors, going through the market, knowing about new apps, knowing about new brands, what's new in the market. And then we also had the book signing with authors. I literally bought all the books from the convention, because every book was related with some sort of hearing stories, some sort of hearing experiences. And then it was very good, I mean, awakening for us as well. And so they were the authors, and I'm a great fan of books signed by authors. So that is also the reason I bought all the books. It was signed by authors. So Gail Hannon and Sharia Burtz were there. Catherine Roebuck was there. Natasha Pickett was there. And we also had a session called Assistive Technology and Communication Access in the Digital Age, which is still about the new apps we can have on phone, and the new technology we are not aware of. It was the presentation more on that. And cybersecurity and hearing loss part 2, aging with dignity, assistance from Frank Sinatra and Eleanor Roosevelt. Otherwise, becoming hearing empowered, emotional side of hearing loss within the Hispanic community. Like the Hispanic community, I also come from the minority group. So there are so many people like me, so many elders like me, who have not come out of that comfort zone because of the linguistic barrier, because of the cultural barrier. And so this session had his Spanish interpreter as well as English interpreter, and then Spanish caption as well as English caption. So I felt, okay, I can also really organize program like this for our community where we can have Nepali caption and English caption. So it's accessible for all of us. So it was very good. And there was HLAA award gala as well, but my flight was in the evening, so I didn't attend the whole session. I run back to the airport to come back to Denver. So, so this is the whole part of this Sherry Bird, the writers. We had so much of sessions getting familiar with the attendees. We get to meet so many people. You don't know who they are, where they come from. They don't know where I come from, but we were literally introducing each other in each program and in each session. It was so much fun to know people that they are like you, and it's comfortable that they can share the same story like you. And it was a brief scenario that the people, almost every hall was filled up like this. There's so many people from all over the places. And then I think I mentioned all of these things in between, but I'm still telling it. The biggest thing my takeaway from this convention is community is the key, being with others who get it. For the long time, I was inside that stigma that I postponed to wear the hearing aid for the long time. Even though the audiologist told me I should wear the hearing aid, I didn't, because of the stigma I had that, no, I'm young, I shouldn't be wearing a hearing aid. So I didn't wear it. And then when you are in the community, when you are with the same kind of people who understand what you have been going through, it's a different level of comfort you share with. So that was my biggest takeaway from the convention. And then I also like the powerful emotional side of hearing loss, how they impact our behavior, and how can we harness them for a more successful hearing loss journey, how you can understand your own family member, because even though you are families, they don't know what you're going through. You have to make them understand how to talk to you. You have to make them understand how to behave with you. So that was also the learning experience for me, and I was able to tell my other family members, okay, this is the thing you have to be with me. So that was it. And then this is also, it takes a village for us to educate people. What matters is what works for you. That was also, this was also described in one of the session, and it went straight to my heart, because it's so true. It's difficult for people like us to make others understand what you are going through. So it's in due course of time, in due course of that awareness, you'd be able to make people understand what you're going through. You'll tell your story, but then it takes a lot of effort to do that. And then practicing communication strategies, practicing with patience, clarity, confidence, and compassion. Life is more enjoyable when you have the empathy with people, when you have the compassion that the person might have a different kind of story than you. So it's easier to connect with people when you know what is in the air. And like I told you, I was able to know pre-boarding. I didn't know that there was pre-boarding for people like us before. And so many of the apps had the messaging system in the app right there. Even though you don't know which zone you are in, the app will tell you, okay, now it is your turn. So I was able to know more about those apps in the convention. They demonstrated everything during the session. And then hidden disability programs at the airport and finding mobile devices feature that work for you. There was this huge exhibition and during the convention. Every table had some different offers, some different apps, some different updates on what we can really use with. So it was very good to know and get updated with all the sessions. And yes, I very much want to go next year's convention as well, which is happening June 12th to 14 in Indianapolis. So I really hope all of my presentation was insightful, and for me it was a very much awakening experience. First time getting to see that many people, getting to meet that many people, networking with them, getting to know what's exactly happening. Even though I have been living here for past 12 years, I have met so many audiologists, and no one has ever told me about the Hearing Loss Association. No one has ever told me about there's this community. It was myself that I tried to find what's happening, what's there, and then I got to know about the Denver chapter, and I wrote email from the website if there is something, some kind of access or some kind of community we can go through. So I was able to know with that, not with anyone who I could have related with. So so this is it, I think. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Binisha. That was inspiring. I got to be there too, and Binisha was lit up through the convention. Her energy and her enthusiasm and the things that she brought. I'm sorry.
Can't see you
Oh,
on the record.
that's all right. You don't, that's okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments or things for Binisha, or things of more elaboration on anything that she shared?
I would ask. I will see the caption, so if someone asks me.
Does anyone have any questions or comments? This is why our chapter does send someone as a delegate, because of all of the things that people can bring back and understanding about the national organization and how many resources are out there for all of us. It's so exciting to attend that.
So you have to be.
No, you don't.
Okay. If you're not a delegate, what would be the average cost? What is it, 3 days, 4 days?
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to be a delegate to attend this. Anyone can attend this. Our chapter sends one person who is a new person each year, I think. But I went this year, and I attended as a chapter leader, and I got to pay a reduced rate. I think it was like $225. I was able to use air miles so I could fly to Phoenix. I shared a room with our friend Lynn Wyman, who's part of our chapter, so I was able to not spend as much at the conference. So if it's something that you feel inspired about for next year, if you do, are you a member of HLAA National?
Well, I'm planning on joining.
Great, because you will get a magazine. I forget how often the magazines come.
Twice a year.
Twice a year. Thanks, Steve. And there'll be information about what the focus is for this next year's convention and things. On their website, you'll find information too, and a listing of the different groups and programs that are going to be offered.
I would also say that, I would also mention the idea that if you're gonna be a member here, Denver chapter, it's always good to be a chapter, I mean, a member of the National Association to help subsidize what they do for us as well.
Right, and that can be for as little as $5 to join the National Association too. And it's hearingloss.org is the national website.
Well, and I was glad to see that you touched base on the emotional side of things, because I don't think people really realize the emotional and the thought patterns and the stuff that people go through that are dealing with hearing loss. And I think from what I gathered from what you were saying, it sounded like it helped you really process that also, because they touched base on that.
As far as the emotional side goes, Richard Parker was deaf for 30 years completely. Finally got a CI after 30 years of being deaf, and he had a group on Facebook called The Emotional Side of Hearing Loss. Absolutely excellent resource.
And how do you spell his name, Ed? P-O-C-K?
P-O-C-K-E-R, Parker.
P-O-C-K-E-R. Thank you. Any other things that come to mind after doing that? I know it's a lot to do that. You did an excellent job, and your enthusiasm is just, you were like on the tips of your toes. That was very, very beautiful. Thank you so much. Dave?
I just want to say it's an awfully professional presentation that you put together. You're very good at that. Thank you for doing it.
Tired.
Other things, other points people have?
I would say also, I'm just putting in a plug for her.
Go see the Nepal exhibit at the Aurora Museum, because that was excellent. That was excellent, and she does a great job on that also.
Thank you so much. Thank
The
you.
Aurora History Museum has a beautiful exhibit. We all did that in June. I think in June. Also thinking, on Saturday, October 5th is the next social event, is going to be mini golf at Family Sports Center, on Arapahoe and Revere. Peoria, Arapahoe and Peoria. An email went out and let Dave know if you're planning to attend. Any other things that you want to share?
Yes, I was told about the game on October 5th, right?
That's the hard of hearing night at the Rapids, correct?
Yes, it's Colorado
The
Rapids game.
Colorado Rapids, and we will have an HLAA chapter table there.
I am volunteering in that table, so I'll be there.
And we're also having a table at the audiologist conference, October 24 and 25. Where we can tell because audiologists need to know that they can refer people here. That's why these bookmarks are helpful. If you're going to your audiologist, share those so that people can know that they can send folks here. You know, so that you can find community, so that we all have found community in this way. Yes. Carol, I have one.
I have one thing to say, and it all has to do. It all has to do with being a part of this group and how it stretches to things that you don't expect. I also attended one of these conventions one time and came back just bouncing like the same as you are. I mean, it's really good. But the biggest thing that you get from being here is you talk to somebody else and you might be having a good day, you might be having a bad day. And I've had hearing loss for many, many years, and it's all you do. And you know that there's days when you wake up, it's just like, I feel a little bit different than everybody else. I'd like to feel empowered. But the best thing that came from this meeting was we talked about I don't know what they call it, but basically financial aid for getting hearing aids. And my son, would- without that, he would not be able to have had this. Just went through all the paperwork and was able to get new hearing aids. And I was amazed at the amount of technology that's there, but I was also amazed at the feelings that I didn't know he had. And my daughter just recently got hearing aids. So both my children have just either been able to get the technology because of financing, which I heard about from here. And Dusty was very influential in helping him. And I thought I ought to be the mom and take the back burner and just let him talk to her as as a patient, you know, not as a patient, but she had so many resources that she gave him and told him these are all the different features that are on a hearing aid. Because I got a cochlear implant and I had a hearing aid, and the hearing aid does nothing for me. I mean, it just takes space, right? But the fact that it all started here. I mean, you know, in the emotions that you share. And the things that, when you're going through it as a person, but you're also going through it as, this is my child. I mean, I don't care, he's 40 years old. He's my child. And then my other daughter, I've talked to for years for her to get something so she could hear. And like you talked about your stigmatism. I mean, I don't want to have these on my ears. I don't want to have this. But even as a mom, when you find out that it's your child that has the same pattern, which is going to have to go through the same stuff as you. I mean, you talk about gut wrenching. And coming here and being able to share that with other people that actually know when I say, hey, it's not just me that hurts. I hurt for my kids. I hurt for the world. Or you go someplace and you're struggling, and it's like, I spent so many years trying to figure out, well, just like one of the meetings, we had these little daisy things. I mean, that you get at the airport.
The sunflower lantern.
Yeah. That was a huge plus in the right direction. And the fact that, oh, you can board early. And we're like, why would you want to do that, Mom? I said, well, I get on the plane, I introduce myself to the stewardess, I tell them I have a hearing problem. I am going to be sitting in this seat. If you're asking me something besides you want a Coke or you know the basic, but you don't know what you say. And that boarding early and being able to do that made a huge difference in a lot of success. And you get that all from just being here. Yeah, it's just, or just even going to your different social things. I get a tremendous amount of, I don't know, I guess warm fuzzies, I guess we call them. I don't know what to call them, but you do, because if somebody understands when you go, I didn't hear a word you said, or I was sitting right next to Dave today. He started talking, I wasn't there, I was focused on something else. And just the idea that he understands you know, hey Carol, you gotta come back to her and listen to me.
That time I punched you?
Yeah. But it's special, and if somebody understands and they get it. But it all starts here, and all your friendship means a hell of a lot to me. I mean, that's the bottom line. Here you go. I'll give it back to you. 4-5.
One quick comment, you mentioned in very passing, DVR. If a person is having trouble with employment because of what, hearing loss, or looking for employment, or is employed and is having a problem with that, Division of Vocational Rehabilitation, the state agency will help. And that's where I got my hearing.
Do people
people know about the hidden disability lanyard that you can get at the airport? The green one that has the sunflower on it. It's a way it started in Europe, and it's a way for airline personnel to know that you have an issue, that you have a challenge, without feeling like you have a big red arrow over your head.
Where can you get those?
You can get them at the airport. You can get them online if you look up hidden disabilities. Yeah, you can get them from Amazon, but they're free in the airport. Ask the people at the info desks.
I just wanted to address what she was saying. The people that we care about, and they start having these challenges, they don't know it, but we don't know it until it happens. Triggers happen. When those triggers happen, then all of a sudden you're walking through that emotional state again that you dealt with maybe many years ago. And if you get the right support system in place, then that will help you walk through those challenges a whole lot better. But also prepare the people that you love and care about too, to walk through it on a more smoother process.
I was telling you something. I haven't heard about, I did hear about people like differently abled people, like, people in wheelchairs, they get accessibility, they get the priority. But I didn't know, before I attended the convention, air travel challenges, that we were eligible to get the pre-boarding facility as well. And there were other sections of the traveling part as well, that there is lessons on air, different lesson on air traveling. So that was awakening for us, for me, to know more about the apps, which there was Delta. If you download the Delta app, they will also message you which zone you are in, and suppose you are in zone 3, they would readily, the text would come, okay, this is now is your turn. So that was very helpful for us. Usually I hear the sound that there is zone 1 calling and zone 2 calling, but I couldn't figure out it was for me. So, so getting to know about that app was so helpful. You get to see that, okay, it's now your turn to board. You don't have to ask anyone around. So,
But you still have to go through security before this.
Of course.
And you have to take your shoes off, your belt off, et cetera, et cetera.
This is about when you can board onto the plane. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
about the
That's-
security. No.
So, yes,
Yeah,
well, that's
it's-
why I don't fly. I can't make it through. I have too much titanium in me. They think I have a rifle up down my leg. Crazy.
Well, I've been deaf in 1 year since I was born, since I was 1.
Good.
And I have terrible fear of flying. I always have, because I can't hear the airport announcement, and I can't hear the announcement on the plane. And going through security, I always make very sure to point to my ears and say, I can't hear well, so they won't think I'm disobeying them or not listening to them, and say, you're a troublemaker.
You can hand them that card.
We know you're a troublemaker, and one of the things that we have for our chapter is a yellow button that says, please face me. I am hard of hearing. I decided I should wear one on my bathrobe because my husband will still talk to me from the other room, or talk to me when he's facing his computer.
Yep.
You know, these things really help, and it's a visual way to have somebody. Marilyn's got a bunch of those. We can have them at the next meeting.
I do the same. I tell my husband to face me when he talks to me. So, so my little one already knows. So she doesn't talk to me when in the car. She would just come in front of me and tell me what she wants to. If sometimes I did hear, uh, we have the app on the phone, she would just readily talk in front of that app and show me in the screen. So it's easier for me to understand. And, and I bought that book, My Happy Years. I got that with me. I was really inspired to tell my story through the book. So I'm really thinking to write my story in the perspective of a child, because both of my children are hearing and I am not. So the process they have to go through in order to make me understand what they want to. And the biggest ordeal was when they were infants, when they were just born. I was so worried. If I don't wake up at night, then how am I going to nurse them? How am I going to take care of them? So that was the biggest worry, that it lingers around, that you don't want to take your hearing aid off even you're sleeping, because in fear that you might not hear when they're crying. So I really want to write all these parts through the book. So let's see how it happens in the future.
That sounds incredible. That sounds like a beautiful tool for families. Any other points, questions? We can stay around and visit. Ed?
Just for those who were not able to use to see captions today. We're recording this, and it will be available on the web, is that correct? So they could watch it, which caption
Captions.
later
yes.
on.
Yes. And also on our web page, on our Facebook page, yeah, there's also recordings of other presentations that have happened over the years too. So know that those are there as well. Other questions? Thank you so much to our newcomers who were here for the first time. We hope you will come back. And Marilyn will include you on the email list. And we hope that she and Don are having a wonderful trip. So I'm so glad she was able to do that. And Dusty is on her way back from a business trip as well. So that's why you've got Steve and me today. But again, Binisha, that was just absolutely beautiful and so inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Should we take a group picture? Marilyn will want a group picture. This is my aunt, actually, I forgot to.
Great game.
I don't know how to do that, so I don't know how to turn this thing off.
Excuse me.
Yes, I think, do you want to stand in the middle of the people there, or how do you want to do that?